One of the big differences is that the A-grade student goes to work. He sits down and overcomes resistance. It doesn't matter if he's feeling tired or he's had a long day. It doesn't matter how he's feeling. He sits down and he goes to work, and he has pride in that. You've got to ask yourself, why do I want to become an A-grade student? I'll tell you the reason why it was important for me when I was at university. It was because I wanted to be the best version of myself, so I could train myself to be wiser, think faster, work more efficiently, and ultimately, I knew that all those challenges that came up were training for the next challenges in life. As Anthony Cheam once said, if your goal is to get an A grade overall in your exams in 6 months' time, and you're only working at C grade level right now, then the amount you need to study needs to increase by at least 50%. If you continue studying the way you are, you'll continue getting the same grades you're getting. If you're studying 2 hours at nighttime, then you need to move up to 3 hours, then 4, then eventually 5. If you don't train the muscle, when it comes time to do the actual exam, you're not going to be able to achieve that A grade. An A grade student takes full responsibility for what shows up in their life. There's a whole load of problems that show up daily in our lives that we have no control over. The weather, the economy, the government, illness. A lot of that we can't control. However, would you not agree that becoming the best version of yourself, upgrading your skills, obtaining the best qualifications you can, would that not put you in a better, stronger position to deal with everything that gets thrown at you? Do you think that upgrading yourself and becoming a wiser, smarter, more driven and successful person would benefit the people around you that you love? Of course it would.
But I'm not so easily convinced and naive to think that getting good grades is as easy as pressing a button, and within seconds you're getting A grades and your life is better. You may not be able to get to this level of studying in a matter of seconds or minutes, but it's easily possible to achieve it in a matter of weeks or months if we just consciously choose to face what's in front of us. And the first step is to just get things done. Get your studying done. If you say you're going to study 3 hours tonight, then do it. Because when you start to get things done, you'll realize that you'll start to have more success. And sometimes a big part of success is just not being lazy and just doing what you know you have to do. 90% of it is just showing up. Just show up and do the work. You're not going to feel perfect every day, and it's the same with every student in your class that's achieving A grades right now. If those students only studied when they felt in the mood to study, they'd be getting C's and D's right now, because everyone has those days where we just don't feel like studying. There's gotta be those days that you just have to push through. There might even be more days when you don't feel like it than when you do. But that's okay, we've all been there. And the top 1%, they push through it. If you're chasing grades, then you might as well just give up now. The grades are nothing. There's nothing there. It's not the grades you should be chasing, it's the individual that is capable of achieving those grades that you should be chasing. Those students that are achieving a 4.0 GPA, you've got to study their character, because that's when you'll start to see exactly what it takes. The daily habits that are followed religiously, the hours of studying late at night while everyone else is sleeping, the 100% attendance in class. And when you study the characters of people getting poor grades, you'll see failure everywhere. You'll see it all falling apart. The procrastination taking control, the lack of drive and focus, skipping classes when they just don't feel like it.
It's your choice you have to make. Are you moving forward on a journey to better yourself? Or are you sat down and giving in, throwing in the towel, making do with what you have, not willing to take the risk? Because that's what most people are doing. They don't give a damn about achieving anything in their life. You can see it in their actions, in their behavior. So don't be most people.
Ed Milet, one of the top peak performance experts on the planet, explains it like this. Failure and setbacks, students quitting, failing the exams, having retakes, dropping out, it's all going to happen. Just get ready. Don't give in to that stuff. Don't give in to the fears. Don't give in to the setbacks. You're gonna have failures. It's part of the journey. And when you get weak, when your classmates give up, when your friends tell you shouldn't be studying so much, or that you're not good enough, or that there's something better, or whatever they tell you, you remember why you're doing it.
You've got to have a persistent attitude that you're gonna win. You got to have a positive outlook. You got to be optimistic. You got to know you're gonna win. Right now, you need to believe you're gonna win. Because, listen to me, the price you pay for not being the best version of yourself is too extreme. You'll have to carry the burden of failure for the rest of your life.
Start to stand up a little taller. Start to walk more confidently. Start becoming the best version of you. You can do it quietly in your own way. You can do it in the way you want. But somehow they gotta look at you and think, okay, I ain't gonna mess with that one. You're gonna have to put up with some failures. You're gonna have to put yourself into some uncomfortable places. Listen to me. Do it. Put yourself into an uncomfortable place. Don't negotiate. Don't try to navigate in your head. Unrealistic people rule the world. As Owen Cook puts it, success is like a quiet daily set of tasks. Real small. It's like that quiet walk to the library, that empty 24/7 library late at night, over and over and over. Or as I sit there studying other great people and I compare their actions with my own actions, over and over and over. Or as I sit doing 30 minutes of meditation a day, over and over and over. Making the choice to eat foods that enhance my brain neurotransmitters, over and over and over. It's a very quiet process where you're doing these simple little tasks, but finding love in those simple little tasks. It's not the big thing where you do this one thing and something big happens. Being able to make a success out of your life, it's not purely down to luck. You have more control over it than you think. You can decide to be successful. You can decide to have the fast cars and the big house. And it starts right here with your studying. Not because getting good grades is going to bring you success in the future. It's about the work ethic and the attitude you have towards your studying that will transfer to your work after you graduate. It's about believing that you can achieve something and doing whatever it takes to achieve it. It's about fine-tuning the skills you have to zero in on your goals. The skills that you are improving while you're studying. Work ethic, time management, reading, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, focus, reasoning, persuasion, organization, overcoming obstacles, and self-motivation. These are all skills that all great students have improved and refined over years of efficient and effective studying. And it's these students that have made a decision that when the world is saying, that's impossible, you're not capable, your dreams will stay as dreams. They have that lone voice that goes, no, you know what? It is possible. Just watch me. They have gone through this process of growth, and they have pushed and pushed through all the obstacles that were thrown at them. It's important that you don't think of your studying as though it's all about passing your exams and getting a piece of paper at the end of it all so you can get a good job. Because it's so much more than that. And it's the great students that understand this. It's not about your exams. It's about the process and the journey you go on and the skills you refine over the years. It's about when you don't feel like studying, but you continue to push through and study anyway. It's doing the things that you need to do, that you know you need to do when you don't feel like doing it. Because the reality is that most people can study when they're feeling good. Most people can study when they have no distractions, when they're in a quiet environment, when there's pressure put on them as a deadline is approaching. But just being able to study on the highs isn't good enough. You have to be able to study all the time. So learning how to refocus your mind on the lows and knowing the lows are going to end is a huge skill. The process is just as important as the actual prize, because the process is going to make you. The deeper the process, the greater the reward. Just remember, the prize is going to be huge. Your educational journey is going to be hard. I can promise you that. There are two paths you can take: the easy road or the hard road. If you choose the hard road, it means you choose to study when your friends are out partying. You start writing your report when the rest of the class don't even know the deadline yet. You're already awake at 5 a.m., on your way to the library when the rest of your friends are still sleeping. If you can find enough focus and motivation to do these hard things, the things that everyone else struggles with, then your educational journey will be easy. The grades will be easy. The scholarships will be easy. But it's a choice that you have to consciously make. You have to step up and take that path. And it will be lonely at times. It will feel like you're the only one doing this. But that's the whole point. The whole idea of this is to be standing at the top of the mountain while everyone else is still at the bottom. Because you took the path that so many people are unwilling to take. Okay, so you know where you want to be, at the top of that mountain. But why aren't you there yet? Why is it that you're stopping yourself from getting there? Why is it that you just settle for the grades that you're getting? Because doing well at school and university, it's not easy. It's difficult to get good grades. It takes a lot of focus, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of late nights and early mornings. But it's absolutely worth it. You are in charge of the life you live. And when you're in charge, you study hard, regardless of how you're feeling. Whether you're feeling lazy, tired, stressed, frustrated, bored, it doesn't matter. This doesn't stop you.
It's the easiest way to turn your grades around. Changing your attitude about your studying. It's when you decide that the grades you're achieving right now are not representative of what you're able to achieve. Because what you'll notice is that these students that are getting the top grades, their attitude towards their studying is completely different to those that are achieving the lowest grades. Attitude is more important than circumstances, more important than failures, more important than successes, more important than money. It's even more important than talent or skill. And we have a choice every day. What attitude are we going to have when approaching our studying? You can't change what grades you were given up to now. You can't change the exams that you failed. But you can change the attitude you have towards your studying today. And you know, it's going to be hard. You know there's going to be ups and downs, but that's what's going to make it worth it in the end. If you really want it enough, when it comes to graduation day, you're going to look in the mirror and say, I did this. Despite all the obstacles and setbacks, I did it. And that feeling you will have of accomplishment and triumph will be like nothing you've ever experienced. It's a feeling you will take with you for the rest of your life. So when it's time to study and your automatic reaction is to fight it and procrastinate, take a few minutes to think about it. Think about what you're doing. That small decision of choosing to procrastinate is you choosing to settle with what you have. Push past it. Study.
You just need to start studying. And I know you probably have dozens of excuses, all completely valid and reasonable excuses. You've had a long day and you want to relax. You want to go out and socialize with your friends. You want to chill out on social media for a few hours. You want to start studying tomorrow because you feel it's too late now. There are 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't start studying right now. But the truth is that none of them matter. The truth is that if you want to build something in your life, then you have to remember that you just need to get started. Because at the end of the day, getting started is the only thing that's holding you back.
Because as soon as you understand that what is holding you back is literally something as small as getting started, it's that small decision that you make when it's time to study, and you give yourself two options. You can procrastinate or you can study. Because if you choose to study, you can forget all the excuses. You can stop making them. You can stop giving in to them. No matter how valid they may seem at the time, you can finally decide that you are going to create that forward momentum, that you're going to step out of the average, that you're actually going to make your life easier by choosing to study rather than procrastinate. Because the times that I felt happiest, the times where I felt the most productive, were I wasn't looking for something extrinsic, but I was focused on myself and trying to push myself and develop myself and achieve things that required my absolute focus. I finally realized that my excuses were coming from the weak voice in my mind, holding me back and trying to make me a worse version of myself.
As Joe Rogan puts it, a lot of people have a problem with excuses. A lot of people are not used to pushing themselves. There's been many days where I didn't want to work out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy. I just had to force myself. And I think there's very few people out there that really know how to force themselves. It's a learned skill. That kind of disciplined focus, where you don't allow yourself to back out of things and you don't allow yourself to slack off. And there's not many people that keep themselves at such a high standard. And because of that, they come up with excuses. And excuses are a giant part of the problem.
So if you're one of those people, you need to put your foot down and say enough! You need to change your life. If you don't make any excuses, you're going to feel far better in the long term. Sure, in the short term it's going to suck, but in the long term it will absolutely be worth it. And when you don't feel like studying, just aim to do it 20 minutes. 20 minutes of light reading and see how it goes. And it will make you feel better, because 20 minutes is better than nothing. And after 20 minutes, see how you feel. And maybe you can do another 20. It's these baby steps, small, seemingly insignificant decisions that add up over weeks, months, years, that combine into greatness.
Leave excuses behind. You've got this.